Hello there, Tasneem here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm once again going to be talking about email. In my previous video, I spoke about Inbox Zero, what it actually is, how one can use the concept of Inbox Zero to gain more control over your email. But here's the thing, how can you implement an email management system and be more organized in your email if your existing email is chaotic? Are you one of those people who has hundreds or thousands of emails, unread emails in your inbox? Well, then this video is for you. Before you can implement any kind of email management system, you first need to clean up and gain control of your current inbox. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. What is the process you need to take to clean up your current email? Let's get into it. So a while back, I created a new Gmail account. It's not one that I use anywhere. I used it specifically for testing things out and for doing tutorials. I signed up for a bunch of mailers and forwarded things to myself and basically just let that email sit there and grow and grow and grow in order for me to be able to do this tutorial. So if I go to my inbox now, you will see I currently have 835 unread emails in my inbox. Now, for some of you, this might seem pretty average, pretty normal, what you have currently in your mailbox. For some of you, if you see more than 100 unread emails in your inbox, then it already feels overwhelming. So this might seem like a big number, but I have a pretty good feeling that for the majority of you, this is small in comparison to what you are currently dealing with. And I know this because I was there. Before I started on this journey of learning how to optimize my time and manage my email more effectively, I had probably in the region of over 13,000 unread emails in my personal inbox, just my personal inbox. And that's only my one personal inbox because I actually had a different personal email which became so chaotic and overwhelming that I abandoned it altogether and created a new one. For a while I was using both, but now I don't even use that other one anymore. And then of course there was also my business email addresses which also had a bunch of unread emails in. So I tackled them one at a time, and now I'm happy to say that I never have more than 5 unread emails in my inbox, and I always clear them out. And that's what I'm hoping to help you get to now. But as I said, before we can manage and maintain an inbox, a clean inbox, we first need to get rid of the mess. So the first thing I want to say is that you need to have self-awareness before you embark on this exercise to know what is the best way for you to tackle this, right? If you are somebody that gets really overwhelmed by a big task and you need to eat an elephant one bite at a time, then ask yourself, if I've got thousands and thousands of unread emails, am I going to rather than split this exercise up into chunks and tackle this little bit at a time? Or are you somebody that prefers to tackle a big task head on, get it out of the way so that you know that it's done and you don't have to think about it again? Once you know how you want to go about this, then we can get into the tips. So let's get into it. The first thing you want to do is understand your Gmail inbox. So there are many settings that Gmail has that people aren't even aware of, that you can actually customize your mailbox to make it easy for you. And I'm going to go into more depth into those kind of things and what some tips on how to optimize how your email is set up in order to maintain a clean inbox. But for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to show you what are the best ways to set up your email in order to have your email structured in order to actually clean up your inbox. Once you've cleaned up your inbox, we can change the settings again to make it more optimal for maintaining your inbox. Right, so let's get started. So the first thing we want to do to go to really bring this number down by a lot is to go to our settings, and when you go to see all settings and go to inbox, you will see that there are categories here. Now some people, when they start a new Gmail account, then the social and promotions tabs are ticked as categories by default, and for others it's not. So if it's not, you want to go ahead and click on social. I'm not going to click on, if promotions are ticked, I want you to uncheck it. I want you to go to social and make sure that social is ticked. Essentially what that means is, if you look at the bottom here, if I hover over promotions, it says that promotions are emails that are marketing, interest, social and political causes, and other promotional emails. So again, this is Gmail detecting certain aspects of your email and then deciding for you what are promotional emails. So for example, you'll see the examples they have as Megan from Mr. D. That is a promotional email, so that was correct. But they've also got Seth's Ed blog, which is actually a newsletter, which is, yes, sometimes he will have promotions in there because he sells courses, but speaking, it's not a promotional email. I actually want to receive that because he has a free mini e-course and I need to receive those emails every day. So that's the reason I don't like to tick the promotions tab, because there might be emails that you want to receive in your primary inbox. That will then land up in the promotions tab inbox. And then social is from social networks. So as soon as it's an update from Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, any of those things, it will fall in the social tab. So that's why it's pretty much safe to tick that. And then updates are auto-generated updates, including like confirmations, receipts, bills, statements, things like that. And again, maybe if you do want to receive like your invoices and online banking logins and all of that into the updates tab, then you want to tick that. But for the purposes of cleaning up the inbox and making sure the right stuff comes into my primary inbox, I'm going to leave that unticked for now. And then forums doesn't really apply to most people. It's if you've signed up for like online discussion groups like Quorum and all of those things. So for now, I'm just going to tick the social tab and then I'm going to click save changes. And what you're going to see is that 800 and something odd unread emails in my inbox has now gone down to 623 emails. So what happened to the rest of the emails? Well, if you scroll down, you'll see that of the 800 and odd unread emails I had in my primary inbox, 212 of those were social emails. And then as you can see here, let me just move my face out of the way. If you see here next to the updates, 392 of the emails in my primary inbox are updates and 212 of those are promotions. So if I had to check the updates and promotions tab, then this number would probably have gone down to like 40 or something like that. So that's how, if you are pretty confident that the way that they've categorize your emails is going to be reliable, you by all means can tick those and automatically will remove the overwhelm of your inbox. But for the purposes of this exercise, we don't just want to remove the unread email or reduce the unread email number, because remember, these are still unread emails. They're just not appearing in my main primary inbox. So it's just kind of putting a blindfold on or turning a blind eye, right? So it's not really actually solving the root of the problem. But the reason why we did tick the social is because now you can go to the social tab and you can actually select all of these, because you pretty much know these are not emails you want to see. Now here's another tip that I want to give you, right? Is that these are all updates from Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. Now these are apps that you can go into and you will get updates or notifications from those apps themselves. So why do you need to get it into your email? So what I would suggest is, if you see that you're getting a whole bunch of these updates from these social media platforms, and this is just a fake, this is an Instagram and Facebook account that I created with the same test email in order to also be able to do things with this, tutorials and things like that. But if you are using these networks in your personal capacity, there'll be way more emails, right? So what you want to do is go into those social media apps and actually turn off your notifications. One way of doing that is also to open up the email and scroll down where you should have the option to remove your email to unsubscribe from, and then you can unsubscribe and then you'll make sure that you don't receive any of these emails. But once you've done that, what you can also do is you click on the little thing here and say all. You're going to select all. Now, of course, because your email only shows however 50 emails, if I select delete, it's only going to select the 50 that's currently showing on the page, and then it's going to show the next 50 and the next 50. So most people don't realize there's this other little thing here that says select all 212 conversations in the social inbox, which is what I'm going to click here. And then you can actually delete all of them. It will ask you because it's so many, it's going to ask you to confirm that that's what you want to do. And ta-da! Not only are those mails not in my inbox, I've also just completely removed them. So now under the social tab, I have no unread emails. And if you go and unsubscribe from the email notifications into all of those apps, none of those emails are going to appear here again. So once we've done that, we want to tackle our primary inbox. Now, in my previous video, I spoke about the 5 actions that you can take with every email in your inbox. You can either delete or archive, you can respond to it, you can delegate an action to someone else, you can defer an action that you need to take on an email to a later date, or you can actually do some action that is as a result of the email. So what we want to do right now is tackle the lowest hanging fruit, which is that we want to find what are the emails that we want to actually just delete completely from our inbox and bring that number down significantly. Now, here's the thing. There are 2 types of emails that you want to delete. These are emails that you either know that you are never going to read because it's way too old and outdated, or that you know that it's information you've read already and you're not going to need that information again. Now, most people, the reason why they leave emails in the inbox, even ones that have been read that just take up space, is because they have this fear of they might need this information in future, and that is where archiving usually comes in handy. But right now, we are going to find those emails that you definitely know you don't want to read, not going to read again, and you're not going to need that information. Generally speaking, these are emails that go way back to the beginning of time when you first started your email account. So what I like to do is go to the counter at the top in the corner here, click on that, and actually click on oldest. And that's going to take me to the oldest email in my inbox. Now, as I said, I only created this email very recently. I started it, as you can see there, in 2021, and I actually only started signing up for a whole bunch of things in April of this year. So I'm going to go and look at what are the emails that maybe are things I subscribed to back in the day when I first started that I'm actually not interested anymore because my life has changed, my interests have changed, or I find that I've never actually opened their emails and I'm never going to. So I'm just going to pick something here. Let's say I see I get a lot of emails from Laylight Process Driven. I get a lot of emails from Eden Fried, and I get a lot of emails from hello at Carrie and Company. So let me just pick something. Let's say I take Eden Fried at the top here, and I look at this and I say to myself, well, I've never actually opened any of Eden Fried's emails. I'm not really interested in this anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this email, right click on it, and go scroll all the way down to find emails from Eden Fried. And it's going to bring up all emails that I've ever received from Eden Fried. What I can do then is, before I actually delete all these emails, I also want to make sure that Eden Fried's emails doesn't come back into my inbox, because as you can see, since I signed up in April, I've been receiving emails all the way up till now. And I know I don't want to receive emails from her anymore. So before I do anything else, I'm first going to open up one of the emails, and then I'm going to unsubscribe from this email list. Now, sometimes you will find an unsubscribe button at the top if Google picks up that it's a newsletter. Otherwise, you'll have to scroll all the way down at the bottom to find the unsubscribe button, in which case I'm going to unsubscribe. Now, it is legally required that if somebody is sending you marketing emails and they have you on their marketing list, they must have some way for you to unsubscribe from the email list. Sometimes people like to hide it between a whole bunch of texts or make it the same color as a normal text, but it should be there. If any marketing emails do not have an unsubscribe option on their email, unless it's from somebody's personal address and they're personally communicating with you one-on-one. If it's from a marketing email list, they must have the option for you to unsubscribe, and if they don't, chances are it's spam, so you want to block it and you want to remove it from your inbox anyway. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and click on the unsubscribe, follow the instructions to unsubscribe from the list, and then you're going to go back into your mailbox. Then I'm going to go and select all the messages here. So I want to select all the messages here, and there was only 35 messages. If there were more messages than could fit into the screen, there would normally be the button that says all conversations that match the search. I'm going to click on that, and now I can delete all these 35 messages from my inbox. And there I've gotten rid of 35 emails. I'm going to go back to my inbox and go back to the oldest messages first. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of the emails. Okay, so as you can see, I managed to bring my unread inbox down from 800 and something to 240, which is a dramatic decrease. Obviously, I haven't finished doing it. It only took me, obviously with the speeding up, it looked like it went much quicker, but it took me literally like 2 minutes to do that. And obviously, the more you have, if you have thousands and thousands, it might take you a little longer to get through everything, but also bear in mind that if you have thousands and thousands, chances are you're not going to have only 35 from one sender. You can easily have like 1,000 from one sender. So you should be able to bring this number down pretty easily. But I wanted to also just show you another alternative method that you can also find newsletters among all your other emails. So one of the ways that you can do that is that you can actually go over here to the search options and put in the field has the words unsubscribe, because remember, like I said, any marketing emails must have the option to unsubscribe. And then you can not only search for all those emails, but you can also create a filter. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to create a filter, and then what we want to do is we want to say apply the label, and let's say we want to say newsletters. Create. And we can even categorize that as promotions. So then an important thing that you want to do is you want to also apply filter to matching conversations, because when you create a filter, it only applies these rules of categorizing it and applying the label to future emails that come in and match that search criteria. But if you click on also apply filter to matching conversations, it's also going to apply this label and category to existing emails in your mailbox. Then what you can do is you can either then decide to delete all these emails, or you can decide to skip the inbox and archive it. But now, because we want to make sure that all the emails that we are actually choosing are not emails that we actually want to keep these emails, we're going to skip those steps for now, and we're just going to create filter. And what you will see now is that you have a label here at the bottom, or if you go to promotions, then you'll have some things there. But if you go and click on newsletters, you will then see that all of the mails that have the word unsubscribe in them will be there. So chances are all of these are marketing emails or newsletters. So that's also a nice way to filter out what are newsletters and what are mails from other people. So what you can then do is you can continue with this process and delete all the emails that you want to do. But I want to move on to the next thing. Once you've managed to delete all of the things that you know you're not going to refer back to, that you don't want to receive again, the next thing is you want to also identify maybe there are marketing type mails that you do actually want to receive, but you don't necessarily want it to appear in your mailbox because you don't want it to take up your immediate attention. You want to be able to tend to that email or just go and find those emails from that particular sender on your own time when you have time to do it. So for example, as an ADHD therapist, I'm interested in information from this magazine, but I don't necessarily want it to come into my inbox and then I feel this anxiety that I need to deal with it or read it, or I will open it and not actually look at it. Then what's the point? But I don't want to delete them from my mailbox because the types of information that comes from the sender is actual information that I might want to refer back to. It's not always marketing emails for webinars or things that they're selling. So what I'm going to do with that in that case is that is where instead of deleting something, I actually want to just archive it. But besides just dealing with what's currently in my inbox, because these, let me just bring them up. Because these emails come quite regularly into my mailbox, I also want to make sure that future emails from the sender doesn't come into my inbox, but that I'm still receiving it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up over to the search options here again, and you'll see that it says from newsletter. But now also bear in mind that this sender maybe sometimes sends it from newsletter @ or sometimes it's from another email address. So I'm actually going to remove this pretty thing there and just say @ and the URL that it received from. This will make sure to pick up any other mail that comes from the same sender but from a different email address. So then we're going to open up the search again, and now we are actually going to create a filter again. So this time what we want to do is, because like I said, you want to receive these emails and you want to be able to go and find emails from the sender because they've got some really useful information that you would like to be able to reference back to, but you don't want it to come into your inbox, you are going to click on the skip the inbox and archive it. You can also select that it must be marked as read. And then you can, if you want, you can leave it like that, because you will be able to find these emails in the all mails section, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But you can also choose to apply a label. So let's say I'm going to create a new label, and maybe I want to label this as ADHD information, right? And I could put this under the newsletters heading, or I could choose not to have it nested under the newsletters heading. Let's for this case say under the newsletters, just so that I can show an example of a nested label. I'm going to create that label, and then I can also choose to have this in a category if I want. So I could choose to have it in promotions or updates or social, but I'm not going to do that now because I've already skipped the inbox, so it's not going to be categorized in any of those things. And then, like I said earlier, you also want to make sure that you also apply this filter to matching conversations so that the current mails will also go in follow these rules. And then I'm going to click on create filter. Right, and then what you're going to see now, if you scroll down, is that you've got newsletters, and then underneath your newsletter you've got ADHD. And I'm going to now select all of these, select all conversations that match this search, and I'm going to click on this little box on the top here that says archive. And when I archive it, it will all be removed from my inbox. And now I'm left with only 124 emails in my inbox. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with a few more of those types of emails, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now you'll see we only have 54 from 800 and something. We only have 54 unread emails in the inbox. By looking for creating filters, either where there's the word unsubscribe in and then filtered them into newsletters, or we created rules where certain items from people we want to receive information from, like courses and things, that we created a label for that it will skip the inbox in future, will be marked as unread, and will be filed under that label, or also under categories like updates or promotions. Now, before we carry on to looking through some of the personal emails that are not newsletters and how to handle those to clear the inbox, we want to see here, notice if they under newsletters, if you remember, I created a filter to filter any emails that has the word unsubscribe in it under the newsletter tab. So it's been labeled as that, but it hasn't actually been marked as read or deleted or archived or anything like that. So we're just going to go head on over to the newsletters tab, and then we're going to look for all messages that are that is unread, and then it's going to bring up all the messages that are unread that has the tag newsletters. We're going to tick all of those, and we are going to mark them as read, and then we are going, and they will be archived. And now, ta-da, we only have 16 unread emails in our mailbox. Now, those ones had my name on, but they were actually sent, they were actually newsletters that I forwarded to myself. That's why they were included in the newsletter tab, because obviously I wanted to create a test environment so that I could show you how to handle that. And then these are emails that were sent by me from my personal mailbox to this, to show you how to then manage the rest of your mail that is now left in your mailbox. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the mails that's left in here, and you're going to ask yourself, okay, are there any mails here that I don't need to keep, that I don't even need to receive in my box, that are not newsletters, so I can't filter them through that? So let's take, for example, this one over here. It says online banking login. Now, I've just forwarded this from my personal address, but essentially what's going to happen is that every time I log into my bank account, I'm going to get an email like this, and it won't have my name here. It will say FNB or Standard Bank or ABSA, whatever it is that you bank with, you're going to get online banking login. Now, this is maybe emails that you don't want cluttering up your inbox. So again, you're going to go, now it's not going to work now, because if I go and search here, it's going to say find emails from Tasneem Abrams, which is not what I'm trying to find. So I maybe want to have emails that has the words online banking login, and I want to search that. There's only one, but let's say there were multiple, and then I would tick that, and I would actually create a filter and say when it has the words online banking login, I'm going to actually not skip, I'm going to skip the inbox. I'm actually not going to skip the inbox, I'm going to delete it immediately, and apply to all, and then I'm going to create the filter, and then this particular one we want to delete. Okay, then we want to look at, okay, we've got some mails here from Google. Okay, Google, we don't necessarily want, these were mails that were from the beginning when we first started. Sometimes you get terms and conditions updates. You can decide, do you want these to come into your mailbox that you can then action it, or do you want to delete it? I'm going to opt to delete it, so I'm going to go Google, and once again I'm going to create a filter, and I'm going to say when I receive things like this, I'm going to opt to have it deleted, apply, and create filter, and then these all will need to be deleted. Okay, now I've got 12 in my mailbox. Then we're going to carry on going through our mailing list and look at what are these emails. And remember, in the previous one, you will have to decide, is this something that you want to delete, or is it something you want to archive, or is it something that you need to schedule in an action? So let's say this is somebody sent this to me, forwarded to me, and I see, okay, well, I'm not really interested in this, so I'm going to tick that. I'm going to look for all those kind of messages where I don't really need to see any of that anymore, and it's not emails that come regularly. Test management email, test mindset email, test marketing email, Those are all things maybe I've read already. And then I'm going to delete those. Now I've left with 6 emails. So now I have this email that says bank statement. Again, this won't come from a name. This will come from your bank. And this is something that I don't want to, maybe I need to actually open this. I need to download the bank statement. But I don't want to delete it from my mailbox entirely. So I might want to open this, download the bank statement, and then mark this as archive. So let's say I do that. I'm going to open this. Okay, it's obviously not showing exactly what it's supposed to be. This is just a test. And I go ahead, I download the item, and I go into the corner here and archive it. Then I've got an invoice paid notification. Maybe you want to create a label that, or this is to when somebody pays you for something, you don't want this to miss your inbox. You want to get a notification for that. And then maybe you need to make a note to send somebody an invoice. And I'm going to show you in another video how you can actually create task items. Actually, let me just show you right now. I'm going to go into my tasks. And then I'm actually going to move this into here, and I'm going to say send receipt. And what will happen is that next time when I can schedule when I want to do that. So on the date when I need to do that, I can click on that and it will automatically open up that email, and then I can find out who the client is, and I can go into my accounting system and issue that receipt. Now I've got 4 mails in my inbox. Now here is meeting details. Now this meeting was details for, let's say the meeting was for yesterday. It's no longer relevant, so I can just delete it. But if it's for a meeting that is for, let's say, a week from now, again, I can go into my add to task. I can drag this over here, and then I can put the date of when the meeting is. Let's say the meeting is tomorrow and the meeting is at 10:30 a.m. Then I can schedule that like that, and this will then be something that I can archive. Then I've got something that's interesting, where it's some interesting article and somebody sent it to me, and I've read it, but I don't want to get rid of it. Again, I can click on that and I can archive. Then I've got an action required. This is a really important email. Then again, I can either decide I'm going to delegate this, or I'm going to action it, or I need to reply to it. And once I've done that, I'm going to hit archive. And then finally, you've been granted access. Maybe I've got my password, login details and password here. So I don't want to lose this email. I can decide if I want to actually mark this as important. Do I want to star it? Or do I want to actually save this under a label? So maybe I want to label this, create a new label. And I want to say this access or resource hub or access details. Maybe there's more than one course that I've signed up to, and I'm going to receive emails like this, and I want to create a label for that. And then I'm going to archive it. Now, the reason why, like I said earlier, that people don't like to delete emails is because they're worried they might need the information. And that is why the archive feature is such a great feature that people don't even realize they have, because you get rid of it from your inbox, but you can still find that email. Because remember, Gmail is a Google product, and Google is the best search engine out there. So Google has really fantastic search capabilities, and all your mail, if you go down to all mail, you will find all your mails there. So all previous emails, they're not in your inbox, but you will still be able to find them. And of course, if you've ordered them nicely, so here we've got under updates, we've still got 2 emails there, so we can actually mark those as unread. And you can then look in under your labels. You can access all the emails if you've labeled them properly. And so say I feel that I need to find out some information from ADHD, I can go click on the label and I can go and search through all of this. Say I'm looking specifically around something with teens, I can then add to the search feature teen, and then all the emails I received from this sender that's got to the word teen in will come up. teens, what teens with ADHD need, eating disorders and body image in teens, and I'll be able to find any emails that I want. But my inbox is now beautifully empty. So full disclaimer, as you can see, I didn't empty out this inbox in one sitting. I started recording this video in the morning and I finished recording it at night, but that doesn't mean it took me a whole day. I had to do, because I'm recording and teaching and having to make sure that I'm sharing the right information, I've had to record it in chunks because of course I have my business to run, I have clients to see, I have kids to pick up and all of those things. But if I had to put all of those chunks of time together, I don't think if I had to try and clear this inbox of 800 and something emails, it wouldn't have taken me more than an hour to do. So that's not to say that that's how long it's going to take you, because it depends on how many mails you have in your inbox, how old your inbox is, how far back it goes, and also what the different types of emails that you get in your inbox and how long it's going to take you to actually sift through and make decisions about what you want to delete, what you want to archive, what filters you want to create. And I'm going to be doing videos, more videos on inbox management, that now that you've cleaned up your inbox, how do you actually set your inbox up and use it with the principles of inbox zero to make sure that you maintain this nice squeaky clean inbox. Currently in my personal inbox, I have 0 emails because it's the end of the day. I've processed all my emails. Tomorrow there will be a few more coming in and I will follow my same process and I will keep my inbox squeaky clean. So if you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel with the algorithm. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of new videos. I'd also really love it if you would comment and let me know what you thought of the video, and if you've tried any of these tips and tricks and you've applied it and you've managed to clean up some of your inbox, please do let me know. It really just motivates me to continue making these videos for you guys if I know that it really helps you.